Emoji J in the house. What's up, buddy? Tess, hey, we have a huge show tonight. I am super Tess. You ready for the show tonight? Tonight should be a good one. Miss Drea. Cody, what's up, Cody? Yeah, Artie, this is the big time, you know? Choff is in the house. So, yeah, this episode tonight, everyone, welcome to Love Quest. The episode tonight will be on masculine and feminine energy. So we just got a bonus. Hey, thank you, Choff. Yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's a topic that a lot of us can learn a lot from. And there's some relation to it that I didn't realize until I dived into it, including manifesting, including intuition. A lot of it is actually tied in with feminine and masculine energy, understanding it and being able to utilize it. I did not realize that before I kind of went down this path. So super excited. Thank you, Love Out Loud. So yeah, this is a little bit of the calm before the storm. Once the show gets started, I'll have trouble, being able to respond to all comments, but I love this part of the show because I just get to say hi to everyone. And I would like to quote Tess, who says, "Nice, ready to learn." And Angie's trying to get absolutely hammered before the show, and that's okay. That is okay. I don't judge anyone. 10 beers, that's a lot. But, if it helps you pay more attention, then no worries, man. Yeah, you are totally welcome. And we have a great guest tonight, Kenny Wayne. I'm sure a lot of you know him. He will be our guest tonight. He's a big deal on the app. One of the biggest gifters on the app, also a big streamer. So super excited to have him. And because of him, we're going to be playing a lot of country songs, which is not my normal style. I'm not going to lie, but we picked some country songs that I like. So Dr. Morgan and I were going through some of the music for the show, and she loves country. You could say learning about country. So yeah, we'll have some good country music up in here. Ooh, Garth Brooks is great. I've seen him live in concert. So we will be busting that out. And yeah, let's see. Oh, do you love country? Miss Drea ahead. Give me a second here. Miss Drea, can you do me a favor? Can you see, are we not featured right now? For some reason, I'm not seeing us featured. Yeah. Hey, Blasian. Yeah, I don't see it either. Oh, good. I just messaged Chris. Either way, Blasian, thank you. Thank you again, everyone, for coming. We got a great show ahead of us. Sure, yeah, we'll get the featured thing fixed. And yeah, tonight's topic is, one more time, masculine and feminine energy for great relationships. So really awesome topic for tonight. Super excited. And before, I guess, we wait for Dr. Morgan, how many of you would you say are familiar with feminine and masculine energy? Like, are you really familiar? Are you like open to learning more? It's definitely a topic that I'm kind of learning, and it's been an awesome journey learning a bit more. Hey, Kamokin, good to see you, buddy. Okay, Andrew, not at all familiar. Awesome. All right, we are now featured. Thank you, Chris Casper. Love you, dude. All right, here is the... We are live. It's good, man. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, she is a clinical psychologist. She is a relationship coach. She has a top 30 podcast, and beyond that, she's just the most amazing person ever. Here is Dr. Morgan.
Hello, Blake. How are you? I'm so excited.
I'm really excited. A, this is an excellent topic. That gets me really excited. B, I just saw him come in. Kenny Wayne is a huge figure on this app, so it's really awesome. It's a pleasure to have him on our show. And yeah, just the crowd seems like me very interested in learning more about masculine and feminine energy.
I love it. Yeah, this is not a topic that has really been talked about very much, and I think few people really understand it. So I'm excited to kind of deep dive with you and talk about it. Have
100%.
Have you mentioned this evening yet that your podcast with Chris is live?
Oh yeah, true. So last night, a lot of people joined. Chris Casper and I actually did a battle for an hour and a half, and we screened the show. Now, which I wish you were there.
I really wanted to come. I had family commitment, but I really wanted to be there.
All good. But now it is actually on YouTube. So we did it on Zoom. And so Dr. Morgan recorded it so you could see Chris, Dr. Morgan, and I on YouTube together, live recording of this podcast launch today.
You guys, it was the funnest thing doing this interview with Blake and Chris, and they were so vulnerable. You do not want to miss this interview. So definitely listen to it. The podcast is Let's Get Vulnerable, or YouTube. I think you just do Dr. Morgan TV. The video is there. I have not watched it.
I haven't either.
But I have a feeling it's pretty hilarious, actually. So don't miss the video. It's gonna be so good. Both Blake and Chris, when I told them that I might use the video as we were recording, they were like, "Oh my gosh, I have to go fix my hair. Like, I have to change my shirt." Like, it was hilarious. You guys would have laughed. Oh my gosh. Anyways, watch the video. Yeah, tonight, let's do it. Masculine and feminine energy. So
big topic.
Big topic. We've never talked about it on the show before. This is the first time. Yeah. So the first thing I want to clarify is that whether you are male or female, you have both masculine and feminine energy. And we can go between, depending on the situation, depending on where we're at, where our mindset's at, we can be in either energy. Most of us will have kind of a go-to energy that we're more comfortable with, or one that we hang out with more. So as we talk about this today, you might get an idea of, oh yeah, that definitely sounds like me, or no, that doesn't sound like me at all. Blake, what do you think about this idea of, as a male, you know, there's that pressure to always be in charge, not connect to your emotions, not connect to your intuition and go internal. Do you feel like there's still that pressure?
I mean, yeah, I think at some level there is some expectation to be the classic definition of a man, and to just make sure you're controlling, to not show emotion. In fact, a lot of times people have equated emotion to weakness, or being vulnerable is weak of you. So I know I definitely experienced that, especially when you're like middle school, high school, you know, and then you're with you're growing up and you're playing sports like I was. Definitely there was that expectation that to fit into that cookie cutter persona, especially in those like very formative years. Yes.
And one thing that always amazed me about men and their friend groups is the tendency to almost like put each other down, or like make fun of each other. Like I feel like men will sometimes thrive off of that, of like, oh, well, I'm better than you. It's always competition. It's always proving yourself. And, you know,
totally.
I think that what I want to make clear is for all of our men who are tuning in, that you have the right to also tune into your feminine energy and tune into your emotions, and to that side of yourself that maybe society has wanted you to not step into, or you felt pressure not to allow yourself to go there. So just a little caveat that even for our guys here, and for you, Blake, that you can allow yourself to feel the emotions, to go internal, to embrace the feminine energy. It's powerful.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. For those just coming in, welcome. This is Love Quest. Do this once a week. If you didn't know, Dr. Morgan is a clinical psychologist, a relationship coach, and she's just the coolest. And we are talking about masculine and feminine energy. And I know Dr. Morgan is going to get into a little definition, and then we're going to get into some questions later, because I know I've been submitted a bunch of questions kind of on this topic.
Yay, I love it. Okay, so when we think about feminine energy, I want you to think about this. Feminine energy is about going internal and tuning into ourselves and allowing ourselves to tune into what it is that we really want and effortlessly attract. So feminine energy is about that attractor energy of, okay, what is meant for me is going to effortlessly come to me because I'm showing up in the energy of what I desire. So feminine energy is vulnerable. There's the willingness to be playful. And I think one of the biggest things I really want to hit home though is the willingness to be creative. So to go internal, to listen to your internal guidance system, and then to just allow yourself to be creative and to be in flow. And it's this place where we shut out thinking of, oh, what I should be doing, how I should be doing things, what other people expect of me. Here's the timeline for my life, right? Like that's all very masculine energy when it's goal oriented and we're push. Feminine energy is, hey, I am going to relax into my life. I'm going to go internal and I am going to trust myself and I'm going to trust the universe that I will align with what is meant for me.
Yeah, I love that. I love that too. And you know what? It's like, I feel like the common misconception too is that feminine energy is not, I'm going to use the word fierce, when in fact to me, it actually is a bit fierce and bold. It's just a different way of going about it.
Exactly. It is fierce. It's actually, I think, even more fierce than masculine in a way, right? Like they're different approaches, but it's the willingness to say, hey, I know what I deserve and I can embody it and I can allow it to come to me. If you think about sperm and the egg, right? Like the sperm goes to the egg. The feminine energy is the egg energy. Like I'm going to attract it. Like this, come on, it's a teaching moment.
It's a great concept. Very important. I didn't know where you were going at. That was, yeah.
But I think one of the things as women, I'm going to touch on this. I know my ladies, drop a 1 if you can relate to this, where you are so successful in your career, in your education, and in do, and you can achieve, and you have a hard time allowing yourself to receive from others and to receive from the universe because you're so busy giving and achieving and pushing that it's harder for you to actually receive and let things come to you.
So I'll just say this publicly, some of my best friends on this app, Whiskey, Miss Drea, and Andy, all aligned with what you're saying.
Yeah. So for women, sometimes we have to make sure that the energy that we're using in our careers and we're using to be successful in life, that's not the same energy that we're taking with us into our relationships. And we're able to step into, okay, I can receive. I don't have to constantly push and chase and achieve. Yep.
Well said. Again, everyone, welcome. If you're just tuning in, this is Love Quest, your once a week talk show on dating and relationship. Dr. Morgan is a clinical psychologist and relationship coach. She is touching upon feminine energy and I think some common misconceptions of it.
Absolutely. Yes. I think another piece, I know I've already said this, but really truly aligning with what you really want. a lot of feminine energy is allowing yourself to go internal and be really honest. What is it that I really truly desire? You know, because if we're so busy being tuned in outwards and what we're supposed to do and what other people expect of us, then we disconnect from our internal guidance system. So feminine energy is grounded, it is secure, and it is that deep alignment with who we really are and the awareness of what is really meant for us. So when we really connect to that, that's how we effortlessly bring people in. Yep.
Gotcha. All right. Feminine energy.
And I know when I first heard about this, I was like, that's some California hippie woo-woo kind of whatever, you know. But the more that you learn about it, the more that you realize, wow, this is a very powerful tool. And when we look at feminine energy, it also aligns with secure attachment, right? Of I know what I'm worthy of. I can attract what's meant for me instead of chasing or avoiding.
Totally.
Yep.
Sweet.
I love it. I love it.
All right, so we got feminine energy. Did you want to describe masculine energy before we hop on into some fun music?
Yeah, I mean, I know I talked a little bit about it, but masculine energy is wonderful and we need it. All of us need it also. It's that, okay, I'm going to go after what I want. I'm going to take charge. I'm going to take control. I'm going to set timelines. I'm going to push and achieve and be persistent. Masculine energy is the thing that helps you stick to that gym routine. Like, all right, every day at 7 a.m., I'm going to go do that thing because I committed to it, right? So masculine energy is wonderful and we can absolutely use it, but we have to also allow ourselves to step into feminine.
All right. Super cool. Yeah, thank you for giving us a little bit of definition on it. I know we'll be talking later about is it interchangeable? There are so many questions around it.
Yes.
So yeah, this is not just like we're going to give a definition and run away. We have a bunch of ways to further enhance both the meaning behind what it is and then what the meaning behind it is and how it can be utilized to the best of its ability. This understanding of different energies.
Exactly. Yep.
So cool. Are we ready for some music?
Let's do it.
All right. So we have Kenny Wayne in the house, and Kenny Wayne is a country singer, and so he inspired us. We play a lot of music on our stream. We have never played any country music. However, in honor of Kenny being our featured guest, he'll be coming up in about 10 minutes. We wanted to play a little bit of country music, and each of the country songs will kind of help us, give us some guidance to a future teaching point. So here's a country song that I think is pretty dope, if I may say so myself. And here we go.
As long as you ride here next to me, everything's gonna be alright. It is meant to be, it'll be, it'll be.
Such a good song.
You know this song?
It is meant to be, it'll be, it'll be.
Okay, Tess, you know this song?
I introduced one to this song.
Yeah, you sent me the song. I was like, oh, I can vibe to this song.
Yeah.
Baby Rexha? If it's meant to be, it will be. So, Dr. Morgan, why don't we just play our first country song in the history of Love Quest? If it's meant to be, it can be.
For the record, I love country, and I'm so glad we brought it to Love Quest. Very exciting. So that song is to illuminate this teaching point of surrender. So feminine energy is about surrendering to what is meant for us and knowing that, okay, if it's meant to be for me, it will stay in my life. There's nothing that I have to push, that I have to control. There's this saying that says, don't push the river, it flows all by itself. This is that idea. In relationships, we need to surrender and trust that when we show up as our authentic selves, the person who's meant to be with us will stay. We don't have to control, we don't have to change who we are. We just have to show up, and if it's meant to be, it will be.
And yeah, that's a wonderfully said comment. And does this work both ways? Is this more pertaining to females, males, or is this just simply this is a concept that we can both value?
Oh, this is for everyone. This is for everyone. Yeah, for men, men as well, to embody that element of feminine energy, of surrender and trust, and knowing that, hey, when you are in alignment, it will stay with you if it's meant to be. So no chasing, no trying to keep the person. I mean, we've all been there, right? We're like trying to make them stay, or we're changing ourselves in some way. We become a chameleon, and all of a sudden we pretend to like country music just because they like it, right? Or, we're going to freaking hockey games just because they're obsessed with hockey, and we're like changing. I haven't done any of these things, by the way. We're changing ourselves, right? So you have to know that, hey, if it's meant to be, it'll be. My only job is to show up as 100% myself.
Love it. So that is surrender. Love that.
Surrender. And I do want to say this, anytime when you're dating and you're finding yourself catastrophizing, you're saying, oh my gosh, what if this ends? Oh my gosh, what if they don't like me because of X, Y, Z? You have to remember this. You have to say, okay, I am surrendering it in this moment. I'm surrendering it to the universe, and I'm letting go of these catastrophizing thoughts. And I'm reminding myself, if it is meant to be, it will be. And then play the song if you need to.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we play the music. We're like, all right, you can remember that. You'll remember that song, and every time you hear it, maybe you'll remember this teaching point. And who knows, maybe it could take you to heaven. Maybe it could take you to heaven.
Feels like magic. I'm right where I wanna be. Everybody's talking about heaven like they just can't wait to go. Saying how it's gonna be so good, so beautiful. Lying next to you in this bed with you, I ain't convinced, 'cause I don't know how heaven could be better than this.
Damn, Ralph. Great job.
Oh my gosh, that song.
That's a good song. I'm not gonna lie. I don't play that much country, but that song is a hit.
That song is a total hit. Like,
I agree.
I think we need
Tell me
more.
why.
I think we need more country songs. We need more country.
That's
nights.
a good one. Yeah, that was a great one.
I'm gonna.
All right,
I'm
tell
gonna
me
do
why
a
we just
country
played-
night once a month.
Tell me why we just played a great song.
So, this idea of heaven, so many of us have this idea that the relationship that we want, that great relationship, that is actually not available to us, that it's like this fantasy, or that it's heaven, right? And we just are like, oh, I'll just settle, I'll just date people who aren't really invested, etc. What I want to gently challenge you with is you can step into the relationship that you really want, the one you truly desire, by acting as though you already have it. So we're going deep. We're talking about manifesting 101, y'all. And this is something that, oh my gosh, people don't really learn about. And then when it is talked about, it's by like hippie woo-woo people. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I think sometimes we tend to think that manifesting just doesn't work, or it's only for certain people. Manifesting is for everybody. And one of the most basic ways you can do it is by acting as if the thing that you desire, that act as if you already have it. So, are you still with me? Did that make sense, Blake?
Yeah, no, of course that makes perfect
Okay.
sense. I mean, for me, I use my example of like the cruise ship, like example, like,
Yes.
you know, but seeing that in my head of me and that awesome partner of mine on the cruise ship, and we're dancing and having the best time, and yeah, feeling that sensation of, okay, I'm in an awesome relationship, not just like hoping for it, no,
Yes.
believing in it.
Believe
and also,
in it.
Also, I think it's healthy because it tells your brain it's possible. Like, and the moment I feel like you lose that faith or that confidence, it's like, how can you make something a reality if you don't truly believe it? And our thoughts are so much more tied into our actions than we realize. And sometimes we think we can override our thoughts with our actions, but yet if they're not in alignment, we won't carry through in the same way. But if we believe something's possible, we'll carry it through till the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is all about, if you're not in a relationship and you desire to be in one, how can you feel into, okay, I am loved, I am desired, the partner that I desire in my life is available to me. This is why I've had everybody do letter writing exercises in the past, where you're writing that letter to your partner and, you know, sending them a note, because you're acknowledging this person is there, they do exist. So
Totally.
This is a very powerful step.
So Leia asked a good question. She asked,
Okay.
if you act like you have the best relationship and you don't, wouldn't that do the opposite of what you want?
So that's talking, and just to clarify, you're in a relationship?
Yeah, I wasn't sure about, like, are you saying you're in a relationship and you're projecting like you're in one? All good, Leia.
No, totally good. If you're in a relationship and it's not great, then no, you don't want to be in denial, right? Like, you do want to acknowledge, where it's at. Okay, yeah. So if you're in a relationship already and it's not great, then obviously you actually have to be honest, and you would need to communicate about that. And thank you for the wine. Maybe over a glass of wine with your partner, you would talk with them about, hey, this is the relationship that I envision. This is how I want to feel. Are you able to meet me in this or not? So, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Have you been drinking a lot recently, or any kind of drink you're thinking maybe would be cool to have?
I've been loving me some Tennessee whiskey.
Ooh, a little Tennessee whiskey? I'm
Yeah.
down for that too. Yeah.
Oh, it's a jam.
Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet.
Gotta slow dance to this one. Slow dance.
Oh, this is just. Oh, thank you. That's for you. You and I. That's for us, Doctor.
I love it.
And honey, I stay strong on your love all the time.
Oh, thank you.
Great song.
Oh, man.
The same old places.
Besides being a dope song and Whiskey's, who we love, Whiskey's theme song. Talk to me
I love
of,
that.
Yeah, well, why don't we
I
just
love
play
that.
an
The mic is-
epic song?
The mic's back on.
So we played that because in a good relationship, you gotta relax and you gotta enjoy every single sip, just like you would enjoy a nice glass of whiskey.
Ooh.
So take it slow. When we are in our feminine energy and we're relaxed in love, we're allowing ourselves to be in the present moment, and we are taking it slow, and we are being playful, and we are having fun, and we are enjoying each moment, right? So it's such a gift. If you want to enjoy dating, you want to enjoy being in a relationship, allow yourself to be present and slow down. Be playful, have fun.
Totally. Yeah, Dr. Morgan, I have some podcasts. I've done the podcast. We have some role plays where we'll be kind of acting that out. So I'm very excited for that.
So excited. Yes.
Well, we're at 7:30, so maybe we bring up, I don't know, Kenny Wayne, if you're in the house, maybe we bring up our
let's
featured
do
guest.
it.
There's a lot of people in the crowd really excited. This is rare. He doesn't go on many shows, so this is an awesome thing that he said yes to us. Any questions you would have specifically for Kenny Wayne, or anything you'd like to know?
I'd love to hear where he's at on his dating journey and what are some of the things that he's looking for in a partnerships, maybe some core values of what he's looking for in a relationship. Just for him to share where he's at on his love, I'm going to say it, his love quest. I'm so excited to have him on though.
Awesome. All right, Dr. Morgan, great job. Thank you for all the education.
Yeah.
She will be back super soon. Without further ado, the one, the only, Kenny Wayne in the house.
Hey, how you doing, Blake?
What is up, man?
Oh, I'm just sitting here, just in the show.
Is this kind of conversation something you've heard before, or have the first 30 minutes been a kind of unique or new experience for you, kind of talking about this energy and some of this kind of stuff?
Well, I mean, I'm 44 years old, so I've kind of heard a little bit of everything.
Sure.
Over the last 25 or 30 years. So.
Gotcha. So familiar with it. Maybe not as in depth as Dr. Morgan went, though.
Well, not worded quite exactly like that, but kind of, like I do know I was raised by predominantly men, right? So
sure.
About the whole feminine energy, I kind of get that, because when you're raised by men, you're not taught some of the things you need to know to understand women. You know what I mean?
Good point.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've had a lot of issues with that in my life, because men are, or at least the men I grew up with, they're kind of like like if you cut your finger, like, oh man, wrap that thing up, quit crying, let's go. Whereas
sure.
a mother figure would have came and cleaned it up right and put a Band-Aid on it and babied you a little bit. I never got none
sure.
of that, right? So I can vouch for that. If you don't have a female in your life to kind of show you some feminine energy as you're being raised up, that you don't understand exactly what they're saying or what they're wanting when you get older.
Sure.
And it causes problems in relationships, by the way.
Totally. Well, you have been, Baywatch has leveled up and hit a dope bonus, so congratulations, Baywatch. Awesome, man. Well, thanks for joining our show. A lot of time with our featured guests, we have them whatever you're comfortable with sharing. We would just love to learn a bit of whatever you're comfortable sharing of your love history, how it's gone for you. Just whatever you're free for, please share with us.
Well, it's been rocky as a lot of people's has, you live and you learn. You go through periods where things are real great, then they're not. And you just, kind of the way I was taught, because I was raised by men, is you just pick it up and move on. And, sometimes it's not that easy, even though society tells us, you should pick up and move on. Don't worry about it. But, sometimes it's hard.
Totally. So you find yourself in a situation where you've taken past learnings and you've applied it to your current self. And so you feel like now, though, you're in a place where you feel like comfortable and confident allowing love into your life, or are you still kind of trying to figure that out? Or
I mean, I'm confident in allowing it into my life, but of course, I'm what they call a classic overthinker. I overthink everything, you know. So, and that's not always good. That's not always good because sometimes you take past relationships into new relationships that shouldn't be there, and you start thinking about things that happened then, you know, in your new relationship, and it might not necessarily correlate.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that definitely makes some sense. And I know for you, career's important. I know you're a country singer. I'm sure you have other things. How have you been able to balance your own personal life and your dreams with having, relationship, or has that also been a kind of tough for you to balance both?
Well, when I had my kids, they'll be 17 in May. But when I had them and I still have them, I'm a single dad. I got custody of them. But when me and their mom was together and we were a family, like I put everything on hold because sometimes pursuing your dreams means being away from your family. And I didn't want that. That was something I wasn't willing to sacrifice myself. So, it is what it is. I sacrificed my dreams, I guess, for them. So, but it's not really a sacrifice to me. That's just the way it's supposed to be.
Kenny, you are in no way too late, too cheap. Is it fair to say becoming a country artist is that part of your dream vision that you see for yourself, or what is it?
Well, I mean, now at my age, it's kind of I would say it's unrealistic, but I've had my chances in the past to do things, and like I say, I gave things up because of my family, and I don't regret that at all. But yeah, I mean, music has always been a part of my life. My mother was a bartender, and so I was halfway raised in the beer joints here in Houston when I was time when I could walk. I mean, I remember barely able to look over the pool table and shooting pool with my sister and picking up bottle cap pull tabs off the beers out in the parking lot, because the pull tabs, each beer had their own little sayings on there, the pull tabs and whatnot. And I remember collecting those in the parking lot because we didn't have nothing to do. Now if a cop drove by and seen two little kids out in the parking lot picking up beer tabs, they'd probably pull in there and want to know what the hell was going on.
Totally.
So.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm going to just say this, man. The world we live in, it's like you put out one video and your life changes overnight. So it is a different world, I feel like, than the past. In the past, it's like if you wanted to be an artist or something, you had to work your whole life. Now it's like one video and your life has changed. So it's an awesome new reality we all live in. I guess some of my final questions would more be, you definitely had a lot of life experience. Is there anything you can teach us from all your life experience when it comes to love? Any real big lessons? Anything that you've really seen in your past that has impacted you and you can share for us?
I guess the biggest one is leave your past relationships in the past. Don't bring them into your new relationships. Even though it might be hard, you got to leave the past where it belongs, because if you bring old experiences into new experiences, it don't work, because it makes people feel like you don't trust them. And I've been guilty of that myself, I'm not gonna lie. I can sit here and do an interview or whatever, but one of my biggest things, and I guess it comes from being raised by men, is not being able to talk about my feelings a whole lot. And as men, as being raised by men, that's the way we were raised. I remember when I was away from my dad for a long time. I say a long time, for a few months, probably 6 months, a year. And the first time I seen him again, I remember giving him a hug, and he was just like, oh, because men, it's different than a man hugging a woman and a man hugging a man, I guess, in my house.
Sure.
So, and that's where music comes into play for me, because I could literally play you a song for every emotion I'm feeling at any time, or I can say through a song what I could never say out loud, if that makes sense.
Sure. Got it. Oh, wow. So so music for you has been that has been a connection with you to tap into a different energy than you're normally having in your everyday life. Wow. So that's the big, was that the big push for you to kind of embrace music? Was like, okay, this is an outlet for me to express more of my feelings that I'm kind of holding back a bit.
Yeah, because as a little kid, growing up in the beer joints here in Houston, like they all had live bands, right? So
Yes.
I got to listen to them, and yeah, like the easiest way to get me into my feelings is listening to certain music, and
Sure.
it correlates with me like so much. But yeah, music is my outlet, and I've wrote a few songs, and there's some songwriters that you can say write a song about that red car and they'll make up a whole song about that red car. Like, I don't know, most of y'all probably know who Mr. Infamous is. You can type stuff in his chat, and you can type stuff in his chat, and he'll throw it into a song and just keep going. I'm not that kind of person. The stuff I write is usually something that's true to my life, and that's why I wrote it, because I could write about my experiences. But as far as making stuff up, it's tough.
Gotcha. Kenny, man, thank you. You've been an amazing guest. I think your teaching point was excellent too, about not taking your past and your current relationships. So yeah, that was awesome to hear. Before you get out of here, anything you'd like to share? Anything you've got going on outside of Love Quest, just in your own life, or even on your streams, or anything on the stage you'd like to share?
I don't know. I got a good group of people on this app that follow me, and I follow them. They're all in here. Parker, Baywatch Blonde, of course. They're all good people, and if y'all could all favorite them and check out their lives, Cams and Smoking, Kamokin, all of them, they're all good people, and I try to keep it pat. I try to keep a good small circle, and I think your circle is best small rather than big.
Kenny Wayne, what a huge honor for the show, man. Appreciate you saying yes. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I mean, if you don't have Kenny favorite, please favorite Kenny Wayne. Again, thank you so much, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for being so vulnerable, and thanks for sharing some really great advice.
Appreciate it, Blake.
All right. He's out, the one, the only, Kenny Wayne. Thank you, buddy. Awesome guest. That was really cool to have Kenny, share some good advice, share, I thought, an excellent tip, too. Really great tip. Not taking your past and, allowing yourself to treat each relationship as it should be, a new experience. So that was awesome. And now we bring back one of the greats, MJ, LeBron, Dr. Morgan. What is up?
I'm a basketball fan, so those references, whoa, that got me.
Just saying, to me, actually, I
wow. I can't accept that honor. I appreciate it though. Wow, what a guest. I honestly got a little teary-eyed, I'm not going to lie, when he was talking about having to focus on his family, and that I'll think about how sometimes in our lives we do what is right, not what is easy. And it really spoke to me with just that acknowledgement of he needed to be there for his family. So you got me a little teary-eyed. So I just really, really appreciate his honesty and vulnerability. What a story. And I liked what he said about not taking past relationships into current ones. I always talk about that. Anytime we're in a new relationship, we need to have a blank relationship slate. It's a totally new slate. Also him talking about not growing up with the model of how to talk about emotions and how to express your feelings, and that so many men and women, we don't grow up in households where talking about our emotions is part of the norm and it's part of our relationship culture. So that's why as adults, it's up to us to do our personal growth, to be at places like this and have these conversations where we get to intentionally say, hey, I'm going to break the generational patterns that are going on in relationships in my family. I'm going to be the one to break the generational trauma here. I'm going to learn how to own my emotions and speak about them. So he's really inspiring because he's on the path of doing that just by acknowledging where he's at. Yep.
So cool. For those just coming in, welcome to Love Quest, once a week dating and relationship show. Dr. Morgan is a clinical psychologist and a relationship coach. We got about 15 minutes left in the show. We have a role play scenario we could do. We've got some questions. I'll leave it up to you. What do you want to go with? Do you want to go with some of the crowd questions? Do you want to do a role play? Or should we?
Well, we got to do a role play.
All right. We have not done a role play. So this is this is what put us on the map. This is our signature dish, maybe you could call it.
Oh, Blakey Poo. So excited.
All right. So.
Oh, look at that! Leia with the action, yes.
Leia's like, let's get it started. All right, so what is what's the background of this? We're on which number date?
Date 3.
Okay, so we're on date number 3.
We're in Nobu.
We're at Nobu. I love Nobu. Okay, dope.
In
All right.
Malibu.
Perfect.
I wish we were actually there.
Me too.
Can we
One
do
of these
that
days.
next time?
Yeah, we will role play. The waiters, they're gonna be so confused. Yeah.
We're doing it. Okay. All right. Action.
And what's up, Dr. Morgan?
Blakey Poo, it's so good to see you. I've been looking forward to this date all week. You look great.
Thanks. You do too. Crazy week, but now we get to relax, have some sushi, and just get to hang out together.
Yes, I'm so excited. And I know this is our 3rd date, and it's just, I'm so excited that we're going to be going to my friend's wedding in a couple months in July.
Wait, well, who?
Remember I told you, like, on our last date, I was like, yeah, you'd be such a fun wedding date. And you're like, of course.
I'm great at weddings.
Well, then I planned you would be my date for the wedding that's happening in July.
Who? Wait. I am great at weddings, by the way. I'm excellent at weddings. I love to dance. I like to get the bride and groom water, and I like to make friends with both people doing the conga line and just chilling in the back, sipping the cocktails. So I'm great at weddings. But what? We're going to a wedding?
Yeah, and then you know how I have that family vacation coming up in August? We're going to go to Belize. We're going to go do some snorkeling. Yeah, of course you're going to come to that. And then obviously Christmas, we're going to be doing that this year in Colorado. And, my family, we rented the cabin. So I'm just so excited. All these fun things we're going to do together.
I'm so confused because I did honestly come to Nobu and I had some questions because I actually was curious. I was going to ask you. I thought it was actually a big deal. I was going to ask you if you were interested in going to the Passion Pit and MGMT concert next week. And I was like, this is a big deal. I was actually nervous. It's like, is that too much? But I think it's enough. And now we're going to weddings, Christmas dinners, and what is happening?
Oh my gosh, you're right. Wow, Blake, I'm so sorry. You know what? As you're saying that, I realized that I'm getting too excited and I'm doing this thing where I'm trying to plan everything out and control. And wow, I'm sorry. I gotta take a deep breath, take a step back.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, you look great. I'm super excited for the spicy tuna. But I'm thinking maybe we could just get to know each other a little more. I'm not saying, and look, but I hear what you're saying. I'd like to say that like I am looking for a long-term relationship. So I really am. We are in that same boat. I am. Yeah, I'm so with you. I'm just trying to figure out like if we're gonna have fun at the Passion Pit concert next week. Like
I hear you.
That sounds fun.
I hear you, and you know what? Sometimes I do this where I just am like, all right, let's do it. And I get really goal oriented, and it's how I've approached things in my career. But I don't want to do that in this relationship with you. I really feel like we have a great connection, and I want to allow it to unfold naturally, and I want to be present with you, and we're just going to take our time. We're just going to get to know each other. So my apologies.
Oh, no apologies. I'm just saying, I think, in my opinion, I've got a way that I think we can think about this. Like, I mean, I think we should just do something that I'm thinking. And I'm just thinking, maybe this is a better way to go now. And like this, I'm just saying, and I don't disagree with that song. I really do want you in my world right now in some context. But like, yeah, I'm just saying, step by step. I feel like our next step is bowling or maybe a Passion Pit concert. I don't know about the party parrot time. Yeah.
Blake, I am so on the same page with you. I'm just going to relax. Let's just take our time. Let's have fun. I won't plan next month, and I won't plan Christmas, and we're just going to take our time.
Perfect.
All right. I love it.
And scene. Well, I kind of broke the scene. Dr. Morgan laughed at me when I was like, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Leia.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Love Quest, your once-a-week dating and relationship talk show. I'm Blake Premier, your host, and this is Dr. Morgan, clinical psychologist, relationship coach, and podcast called Let's Get Vulnerable has reached top 30 in the App Store. Stay tuned for the rest of the show. All right. Well, we are being silly. I'm being silly, but that was thank you, Larry. That was a really fun role play. Can you let us know, though, in all seriousness, why was it so important that we did that? Because I know that there's a lot you actually did want us to learn out of that role play scenario.
Yes. Thank you for asking, Blake. I'm just kidding. So we did that because we wanted to show how sometimes without even realizing it, we can be kind of in that planning energy, in that forward thinking, wanting to control, and maybe we think it's coming from a good place, but what it does is it actually takes away from the relationship and takes us out of the present moment. And how the other thing I want to illustrate, notice it was all me. I'm over here planning the wedding next month, and then where we're going to go to Belize in August, and then Christmas, and there's not this reciprocal. So when you're doing future plans, when you're dating, you want it to be reciprocal where both people are invested and both people are planning. So I was demonstrating what not to do, but then there was the course correct where I acknowledged what I was doing.
And I think that's the big thing too. In all honesty, like if you're on a date and like that's gonna happen, right? Especially early on, if someone says something that you're like, oh, that's a lot. Is that a good way to approach this? Being like, oh, that's a little too quick. We've all been there though. We've all been there though. That doesn't discount that you're an amazing person who's like could be a future partner. So
exactly, it's important how you handle it, right? So let's say you're getting to know someone and then you just realize like, oh, wow, 3 weeks from now, I'm going on that camping trip with my friends, and you invite the person you just met last week and then all of a sudden you realize, oh shoot, we're not really ready for that in our relationship, the most important thing you do is you communicate about it. The worst thing you could do is just ghost and be weird and be distant and not talk about it. You need to just communicate, take ownership, express how you feel, and then recalibrate. You can always recalibrate. You can, course correct and get back on a comfortable pace. Because ultimately what we're talking about here is pacing of the relationship, and you and your partner kind of being in agreement on what is the pace of the intimacy and the emotional investment. So you want to communicate about that.
Love it. Welcome everyone. Welcome Haley. If you just came in, you missed a pretty good part of the show, but that's okay. We still love everyone a lot. We are winding down a bit. We've been talking about masculine and feminine energy. And actually, no, if you just came in, some of these questions, I'm going to rapid fire you some of these questions because, there's a lot of clarification questions about masculine and feminine energy. And actually, if you just came in, you are going to learn a lot right now. Here we go. This is the Dr. Morgan Rapid Fire. All right, first question. Do you need to be a male to experience male-only energy, or male-focused energy was the question?
No, men and women can both experience both masculine and feminine energy. And when we are healthy and we've done a lot of work, we can flow and have different levels of masculine and feminine energy at any given time. And then when we're in healthy partnerships, we also will learn to balance each other out and be in different energies based on what the needs are of the situation and of the people. I hope I didn't lose people on that. The basic answer is male or female, you have both masculine and feminine energy.
Gotcha. So follow up to that is, can you switch energies and slash any tips for switching energies in the moment? Which I think actually kind of relates to our role play in some ways. You were harnessing a lot of masculine energy there, projecting future and talking about future plans, and then you kind of talk to us.
Absolutely. So you know how I talked about surrender and how it's this process of when you realize that you're in that place and you're trying to control and you're trying to push and predict, allowing yourself to let it go, to surrender.
Yeah, if you're getting a call, let it go.
Yeah, sorry guys.
No,
my dad's calling me. So no, being able to release it. And one thing I will say is sometimes we have a certain energy at work. For a lot of us, male or female, that energy is masculine energy. We're expected to perform. We have deadlines. We push. We go. So when you get home, having some kind of ritual that helps you switch into feminine, for me, that's like a really hot shower, playing some really smooth R&B kind of music, and getting into that place of I can relax, I can receive, I no longer have to push and go. And this is particularly important for my business people, my entrepreneurs, my people who are very career oriented. You have to develop a ritual to switch into feminine energy.
Such a good point. Another quick question. Should you trust your intuition / is intuition tied in with any of this energy understanding?
You should trust your intuition. That is absolutely tied into this feminine energy. That's the foundation of it. Okay, when I'm in feminine energy, I'm in tune to my internal guidance system, aka my intuition, and I have that really, really secure and trusting relationship with myself. So I can tune into my intuition and I can trust it, and I'm grounded in it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. Last question. related to what is this question? Is it something that you should be aware of? Like, should you be aware daily of like the different energies, or is this just more, hey, you have this basic understanding, it's a foundation, and now you kind of go about your life, or should you be throughout the day consciously thinking, hey, am I in masculine energy? Am I in feminine energy? And is that appropriate for what I'm doing? You know, like how talk about the actual practical day-to-day aspect of this.
What a great question, Blake. I love it. It's a good one. I'm being genuine. I love it.
Thank you.
So with this, what I would say is a lot of the time when we're in flow, when things are working, things are smooth, and we're just going about our day, you don't have to think about it. But if you're in moments where you feel stressed, you feel anxious, you feel off, your energy's off in some way, yes, then one of the questions as you tune in with yourself should be, where is my energy? Am I in masculine energy where I'm trying to control and push and I'm not willing to surrender and release? Most likely, if we're feeling anxiety and stress, we're in a masculine energy place when we would be better served being in our feminine energy in that moment. So
awesome. Well, that concludes Dr. Morgan Rapid Fire. A new segment that we'll be doing. So
love it.
Awesome. Well, that wraps up the show. I know you probably have some announcements or anything upcoming or what's going on in Dr. Morgan.
Yeah. You know, really cool things happening right now. One of the coolest is the podcast episode with Blake, your lovely host, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Blake. And he has had the distinct privilege now of being on my podcast twice. I don't think I've had...
Am I the only one?
There's one other person who's been on twice. But hey, when you come on a third time, you'll be the only one to have been on 3 times. So episode 117, thank you. The Let's Get Vulnerable podcast. Tune in to hear Blake and Chris Casper. They were very vulnerable. They talk about a pact, a blood pact that they have made. You don't want to miss it. And the other things going on, I was recently interviewed by the CEO of Coffee Meets Bagel. Ooh. And they have an awesome podcast called Save the Date. So you can look at Save the Date. It's a podcast by Coffee Meets Bagel. And I do a deep dive on attachment theory. If you've ever wondered about attachment theory, you have to listen to that episode. Yep.
So cool. Again, if you want any more Dr. Morgan in your life, let's get vulnerable. Every episode except 40 and 117 is spectacular.
All the episodes are great.
All the episodes are amazing. And then you're also available on Instagram.
On
Dr.
Instagram.
Morgan Coaching.
Yes, Dr. Morgan Coaching. And then we have a Facebook group now called Successful Women, Great Relationships. Yes, you can have it all because you can. So I go live in that Facebook group every Wednesday at noon PST. So you can join that if you want to hang out with me more. But yeah, lots of exciting stuff. Blake, I'm so grateful to you for coming on the podcast and being vulnerable and for joining me in this journey. You're such an amazing friend, and thank you for bringing me into this community, the Meet Me community. Always appreciate you.
Appreciate you so much love. Oh wait, Dr. Morgan, we do have a question.
Okay, what?
Very quickly, on the podcast, Chris was talking about, that he wasn't in a relationship now, and then he was going to be, he may not be in a relationship for 30 minutes. And then you mentioned, was he looking to be a sugar daddy? And it was live, and I'm talking like Chris's face, and then everyone, my comments started scrolling like never before, and everyone's like, what? And even Chris was like, what the heck? So we've been dying to ask, is there anything from Chris that made you think, wow, this dude's setting himself up to be a sugar daddy? Like, seriously, we were all dying to ask the sugar daddy reference. Like, talk to us. Chris Casper, sugar daddy. It's the controversy of the week.
Chris is not here. I can't talk about this without Chris here.
Okay. So we will not get that answer.
To be
right
continued.
Now.
To be continued.
Wow. That is
I
on
forgot about
everyone's
that.
mind. Oh, it was the moment for all of us.
The YouTube of that has got to be so good. I can't wait to watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah. Again, it's on YouTube, so you get to see our facial expressions. I can't wait to see. I'm sure Chris and I are like, what?
I know I had to like go under my desk at one point because I was laughing so much. So.
Oh my gosh. All right, we gotta see that.
Gotta see the YouTube for sure.
All right. Appreciate you. So much love.
Oh, it's Dr. Morgan TV for the YouTube, Leia. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Blake, you're an amazing human. Thank you for all the things you do for this community. So appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
I will see you soon.
Bye, Dr. Morgan.
Bye.
The one, the only, Dr. Morgan. I would like to repeat, there is a big three. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Dr. Morgan. That is the big three to me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We really have an amazing honor to do this show. Shout out, I know he's not in here anymore, but still, shout out to Kenny Wayne. Like, thank you for coming in. Thank you for being so vulnerable. Kenny Wayne is one of the biggest gifters in the history of Meet Me. And for him to be a featured guest is also awesome. Next week, we have another humongous featured guest. Her name is Abby Scott. Abby Scott is a huge person on this app. She's also in the top 10, I think, for Diamonds. She does her own singing career that she has, and she's been taken off, and she will be our guest next week. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, hopefully you learned something from this episode. If you have any questions for future shows, check out my Instagram, and I have a place that you can submit a question. So if we didn't answer any of your questions, but you'd like to have something answered on the show, check out my Instagram link in the bio right there. And yeah, you just put in any question you have. We'll try to answer it on the show. That is it. Thank you all again so much. So much appreciation. We will be back next week. Same time, same place. Love Quest 8 is not the time. 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. So much love for you guys. Again, be kind to others. Go into the week with joy, and I will talk to you all soon. So much love. Peace.